All right, welcome to the video. We are going to be showing you how to upgrade your existing kitchen island for pennies on the dollar, I might add, just for the cost of a couple 2x4s and maybe some sheetrock, maybe some paint, you know, very cheap, and obviously, I guess, a new kitchen countertop. Anyway, it's time to upgrade this existing one. I'm not sure, maybe the people before may have had some disabilities. That might explain why this countertop is on two different levels. Anyway, the people who live here now are tired of that dishwasher that is disintegrating and this island that is separated into two separate levels. We're gonna make it one level and show you how to do it for pennies on the dollar. Now, of course, it starts with demo day. If you ever have gotten mad and you just want to destroy something, demo day is a day for that. Just grab you any ball peen hammer and start thwacking. And if that's not enough, just add your body weight into it so you can start feeling the individual wood fibers rip and shred as you just manhandle that sucker. And anyway, so that's what we're doing here. We are just ripping down and disintegrating this little knee wall. This little knee wall right here was the backbone of that island, and we ripped it apart in about 3 seconds. Now, moving right along to plumbing, we are going to be removing the dishwasher, so it's connected to water, so make sure your water's shut off, and we are removing the garbage disposal, the P-trap, the water supply lines, everything. Now, as far as the dishwasher is concerned, you got to figure out how is it actually attached to your cabinetry. Now, it could either be in those plugs right there that I just shown, or it could be attached with these brackets underneath your countertop. Now, even if you have all the screws unscrewed, this is a leg right here. You want to make sure it's all the way up, because sometimes, which is often the case, LVP flooring right there will catch on to those legs and you won't be able to yank the sucker out. So if you wanted to get it out nice and delicate like this here in the video, you got to make sure it's unfastened everywhere. Now, there's definitely going to be some electricity flowing through your kitchen island, most likely. And if there is, and you're going to work on it, make sure that the breaker is turned off. I'm working on it here live, but it's just don't do that. So just so you don't get whacked, make sure that the breaker is off. Now, moving along to the kitchen sink, this is a bolt right here, or a fastener, or a locking mechanism that holds the sink to the countertop itself. To get it off is to lay down like that in a very uncomfortable cockeyed position with your neck bent and crooked. You have to unscrew those bolts in order to pull the sink out. But once you unscrew them, the sink literally just pops right out in just one fell swoop like that. Now we're going to be removing the countertop itself from the base cabinet, and if you're lucky, it's only going to be held on by a handful of screws, and fortunately for us, we hit the jackpot. It was just a handful of screws in very easily accessible areas, and the whole thing effortlessly just popped right off, and it wasn't held on by glue either. Now, upon further investigatory efforts on our part, we understood that the dishwasher was leaking water for some time. That's black mold there. That's subfloor, that's exposed subfloor. We have to cut it out. You probably won't have to do this. I'm showing you this simply because when you're doing remodels, you never know what's actually going to be going down in Chinatown. Furthermore, our investigation showed that the water just continued to underneath the base cabinet. It was crumbling. We wanted to save this cabinet. We weren't going to get a new one. We wanted to reuse it, but we couldn't. Anyway, moving right along to actually building something, we are building a new knee wall. We are going to be using this laser level to make sure it's straight. Nobody wants a cockeyed kitchen island. Let me tell you, if you're doing it for somebody else, they're probably not going to pay you if you build them a crooked kitchen island. Anyway, so yeah, we're setting out our little floor plates for this, and we're screwing them down to the subfloor with 2.5-inch construction screws. Once you need to kind of already know your dimensions. We're just rebuilding what was already there. So I already knew the dimensions for these cripple studs that I'm adding right here, and we're going to add them 16 inches on center. And really, you know, this knee wall, what we're doing is really simple to build. We're just building a square. So what I'm working on right now is this square. Literally all 4 corners are connected, and we're attaching it to a rectangle, just a much bigger square. Now, since we had to get a new base cabinet, we're taking our dimensions out for measuring where our plumbing is going to be. Since the plumbing is already routed through the floor, we didn't want to reroute it, so it's just going to be going through the base cabinet again. Usually plumbing is routed through the walls, but we didn't want to add more holes to the floor. We just wanted to repeat exactly what was there, and so that's what we ended up doing. Of course. Now, if you do any type of remodel in your kitchen or your bathroom, maybe a basement, you're gonna come across some PVC plumbing, okay? It's nothing to fret about, don't worry about it. If you played with Legos as a kid or Connects, trust me, you have mastered PVC drain pipes. They're really easy. Instead of snapping together like a Lego, they get glued together. You start with this purple primer. It's less viscous than spring water and has anti-gravity properties. And you mix that with a blue glue that'll get you higher than a kite on Christmas morning. Super easy. Okay, so that's the shim. Moving along. So that's a shim. We need to level our base cabinet before we attach it to the wall. You buy these shims in bundles and you put them on all four corners. You grab yourself a 2-foot or 4-foot level, whatever you have, and you put it on every corner of the cabinet to make sure that it is in fact level. And then you take these special cabinetry screws. So what makes this special is that it's like a washer melted into like a Phillips head screw combo. And so we don't actually want to drill through the borders of the base cabinet. We just want to use these screws as locking mechanisms on all four corners of your base cabinet, or wherever your base cabinet touches that new knee wall, put a screw in it. Now, so this is a paddle bit, a very powerful paddle bit. I think it's about 3/4 of an inch. We're gonna be running Romex or some electricity through our knee wall here. We have to power a garbage disposal and we have to power a dishwasher. Now, the NEC code, people, the bureaucrats can't make up their mind whether it is code to have electricity running through your new kitchen island or not. And right now it's not required, but they've changed their mind about 30 times in the last 5 years. So my opinion is, it's your house. You should be able to have electricity whenever and wherever you want inside of your house. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So what we're doing right here is adding another square, and what we're doing is creating a gap. The footprint of the old knee wall caused the LVP on the floor to abruptly end. And so instead of LVPing a large section of the floor to fill that in, the homeowners just wanted us to cover it up, basically. And so that's what we did. You know, the homeowners are paying for what they want, and that's what they get. Now we're moving on to the wrap. We are using sheetrock, and on top of the sheetrock, we're gonna be using some wainscot. Now you can wrap your kitchen island with whatever you want. Sheetrock is really, really easy and probably the cheapest thing that you could possibly do. But you could use like shiplap, or I've seen people use LVP, or you could use tile, or whatever you want to do, or whatever is within your budget. Sheetrock is literally pennies on the dollar compared to all that other stuff. And so that's what the homeowners wanted, and that's what we're doing. Also, for the DIYers, you know, out there, sheetrock is almost impossible to mess up. It's literally mud that you put on the wall. It dries, and if it looks like a rocky road or Mount Everest or whatever in the Himalayan mountains, you just sand it until it's perfectly smooth. What I'm actually doing right now is applying what's called a corner bead. Now, corner bead comes in, it could be all plastic, or it could just be metal. I'm using a paper wrapped metal piece, and the corner bead just protects the corners, and it's a way of finishing all the corners of sheetrock to make it look nice, and or I should say outside corners. And what I'm using right now is just regular paper, some sheetrock paper, some joint compound paper for all the inside corners. And you know, this is how easy it is. You throw the mud on the wall, you wipe away the excess, and you're done. You let it dry. Now, the only thing is you have to do a couple coats. So if you notice, I'm using a much bigger knife now. I'm still working on like what's considered an outside corner, but it's that easy. Now, awesome. Moving along to actually a countertop. You know, it's nice when it's countertop day and you can finally start setting stuff on the new island that you're building, like this kitchen faucet here. So look, you know, I would say you never want to skimp out on your hardware. You know what I'm saying? Get a more expensive kitchen faucet. You won't regret it. The water flows out of it better. It's more sturdy. Yes, you do have to lay on the ground again to actually install and reconnect all the water lines, but with your kitchen faucet, make sure it's a good one. You don't want to get one that's just going to break in a year. Now, in case you didn't know, hot goes on the left when you're reconnecting your water lines. Hot's on the left, cold's on the right. The garbage disposal right here, it doesn't really take two people, but we like to use two people, and it just literally screws on. And of course, your P-trap, which is plastic, it gets connected to your garbage disposal, and you just screw it into your fittings of your drain. Now, interesting, we're gonna be talking about a button, and specifically this button. This is actually a countertop switch. Make sure you tell your countertop fabricator that you are gonna be using it. So this countertop switch, it takes about 13 seconds to install. Literally, I'm installing this in real time. This is not sped up. You have this little cord and you put it on your switch. You connect it to your switch. It clicks right in. Now, this is a nut that is gonna be the locking mechanism that connects your switch to your countertop. It has to get screwed on from underneath. And you take that cord, once you screw that nut on tight, you take that plastic cord and you lock it into the only port in that little black box there thing. You literally can't mess it up. Now that black box needs to be plugged in to a wall outlet that's existing inside of the bottom of your sink. Now you take your garbage disposal and you plug it into the black box and you're done. Literally 13 seconds. Now, moving right along to some baseboard trim. You know, we're actually using some plastic trim and it's pretty cool. This takes the place of baseboard and quarter round. That's how thick it is, and that's kind of what it looks like on. Now, on top of this, we're gonna be putting our wainscot. Now, this is a wainscot panel made out of super compressed cardboard. Now, I'm not sure how durable or how long this super compressed cardboard will last, but I mean, it looks decent. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. The homeowners found it on sale at Home Depot. I don't know if it's still on sale or if they're gonna keep selling it, but it's, again, really easy to install. It was very affordable. The homeowners liked it, and who are we to complain? We just took a little brad nailer and a little bit of liquid nails and we tacked the sucker up. Now, you do have to finish it on the top wherever it's exposed. Now, that piece of molding that we're using is actually specifically meant for this. It's called a drip cap molding, and you can just tack it on the wall with any brad nailer or finish nails. All right, now let's move on to before and after.
Now look here, Don Juan Julio. I need you to hurry up and pull that crown.
Man, fuck this. I missed the 90s when I was walking runways and banging broads all day. Now I gotta swing hammers just to survive?
Now shut the fuck up and get
Should've never gotten on the rock to begin with. Now I'm fucking dealing with your fucking fat ass.
Yeah, well that crystal
Ah, whoa!
well that crystal rock be making you feel nice.
You got that right, partner.
Then get to cutting.
Hey, the light's in the goddamn way.